we've had a number of announcements, like Stat Oil already evacuating staff. The number of ExxonMobil made an announcement earlier today as well about staff. It could be the first hurricane to make landfall in Texas in 9 years. Possibly all that rain Rick talked about as well. You see the price of oil today up at $47.72 a barrel. All right, let's talk about it a little bit. Belpointe Asset Management Chief Strategist David Nelson is here in the studio with us, and from the Patriarch organization, Chairman and CEO Eric Schiffer is also with us. Eric, I'll go to you first on this. Obviously, we've been through this before, but not in a while to this extent down to the Gulf. I mean, Wilma in '05, after the horror of Katrina, was really the last major hurricane to hit this industry. A lot of oil interest here. What should we be thinking about?
Well, I think, look, investors are freaking out. This could be devastating to oil, but we're not seeing it. And I think we're not seeing it because you have production levels that have been really at close to what the height was in 2015. So there's a glut. So even if they get hit, and they get hit hard, right, it shouldn't affect oil in a significant way. On the refinery side, similar story. And so, you know, I think that while there was an initial concern, I think when you really do the numbers, you can see that actually the market's saying it, that it's going down.
It is interesting. David, what's your take on it?
Look, I'd be careful here. You got a third of our refining capacities in the path of this storm. You get a disruption. You could see some pullback here because when a refinery actually shuts down, it could take a week, 2, even 3 weeks before you come back fully online. I'm not really concerned about the price of oil skyrocketing here, right, and even if it did, it would likely pull back pretty quickly.
Sometimes these things surprise us, though, a little bit. It's not like we didn't know about this hurricane. We did, but we didn't know, as Rick pointed out, about the strength of it until recently. They may not have been on people's radar, you know.
They can be unpredictable if it kind of meanders around there. I'm certainly no, weather guy, but these things can build up and you can get unintended consequences, so you got to watch.
So you protect yourself against that if you're investing.
I think you'd have to, and you've got a lot of personnel there.
But the other side of it, Erica, you say, is that the market is already kind of, protecting itself just because of how it's set up for this.
Yeah, and I think that the concern for investors in terms of it rising significantly, I just don't see it. I think that I understand the arguments, but the reality is we're already ahead. There's a lot on the sidelines. There's a lot of excess capacity. And so even if we get hit, there's a lot of extra to be able to balance it out. Certainly, if there's some catastrophic scenario that even our weather people haven't figured out, then yes, but that's not what we're seeing. I think that they predicted it. It's going to be bad. It'll be devastating, but it's not going to be this one that's going to wipe things out to the point where it changes the price in a significant way. No.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, obviously, we hope you're right, and it goes. I hope goes without saying the human element is the most important part of this, but we always look at the investment side of it, and Eric, we hope you're right. David, thanks as well.